He had always believed that marriages didn't break in one day, they frayed slowly, thread by thread, until one final tug pulled everything apart. But when his moment came, it didn't feel slow. It felt sudden, sharp, like stepping on glass he didn't know it was broken. Ethan and Claire had been married for 5 years. They were the couple everyone described as balanced. He was calm where she was impulsive, organized where she was spontaneous. He worked as a software analyst, steady and predictable. She was a wellness coach, passionate about meditations, retreats, and everything that promised peace of mind in a chaotic world. Their differences complemented each other, or at least that's what Ethan always believed. But over the past few months, Claire began talking more and more about stress. Stress from her clients, stress from her schedule, stress from feeling stuck. So when she announced she wanted to go on a weekend wellness retreat alone, Ethan didn't question it. She had done smaller retreats before, though never overnight. Still, he supported her. Recharge, he told her with a smile. You deserve it. She hugged him tightly, maybe a little too tightly. Thank you. I really need this. The morning she left, she tossed a small duffel bag into the back of a rideshare, gave Ethan a quick kiss, and disappeared down the street with a soft wave. He watched her go, feeling nothing but warmth and trust. But trust is only as strong as the truth it rests on. It began with laundry. Not suspicion, not spying, just laundry. Ethan had decided to clean the bedroom while she was away, partly to surprise her, partly to feel productive. In the corner, he noticed a crumpled envelope from the fancy resort to towns over. At first he assumed it was junk mail, but curiosity nudged him. He unfolded it. His eyes tightened. It wasn't junk. It was a printed receipt. 2-person deluxe spa suite, 2 robes, champagne, rose petal package, breakfast for 2 booked under. Claire Lawson plus guessed his stomach dropped, not because of what he read, but because of how easily it could have been nothing, and yet it wasn't. He stared at the date. This weekend. Her wellness retreat. The room felt smaller somehow. He sat on the edge of the bed, the receipt shaking slightly between his fingers. His first instinct was denial. Maybe it was a mistake. Maybe she booked it for a friend. Maybe the resort printed to guests by default. But the human mind, when it knows the truth, refuses to believe lies, even comforting ones. Questions began forming like storm clouds. Why didn't she mention a friend? Why didn't she tell him the location? Why were there 2 robes? Why champagne? He picked up the receipt again, searching for anything that might ease the ache tightening inside him. But all he saw was confirmation of something he didn't want to name. Instead of calling her, he sat in silence. Silence has a way of revealing things. He spent the rest of the day thinking, pacing, replaying memories with new angles. Times she came home late. Moments she seemed distant. The way she started keeping her phone face down. Her sudden obsession with baths, candles, and alone time. At night, he lay awake alone in their bed, staring at the ceiling, feeling a strange mix of heartbreak and clarity. By morning, he knew exactly what he needed to do. He didn't pack in a frenzy. He didn't rage or cry. He moved with quiet purpose. First, his documents, then his clothes, then the small items that had meaning only to him. He booked a storage unit, arranged movers, and found a short-term apartment near his office. Everything came together smoothly, almost as if the universe had cleared a path for him. He worked quickly but carefully, making sure to leave the house looking normal, except for the absence of his life. Before leaving, he sat at the kitchen table with a blank sheet of paper. He thought he might write a long letter, pour out emotions, demand explanations. But the more he thought, the more unnecessary it felt. So he wrote only, I found the receipt. I hope the retreat helped you find whatever you were missing. Am giving you the space you've already taken. Ethan, no anger, no accusations, just truth. He placed the note under a small stone paperweight she loved, a carved quartz heart. She once said symbolized emotional grounding. The irony wasn't lost on him, but he didn't feel bitterness, just acceptance. Then he left, closing the door softly behind him. Claire returned that Sunday afternoon, glowing, relaxed, radiant, and for a moment, as she stepped into the house, she didn't notice anything missing. Not until she walked into the bedroom. Not until she saw the empty drawers. Not until she felt the strange stillness of a house that no longer held two lives. And then she saw the note. The sound she made, somewhere between a gasp and a cry, echoed through the empty rooms. She called him 10 times, then 20. He didn't answer. She texted paragraphs, then apologies, then explanations. Ethan read none of them. He turned off his phone and sat quietly in his new apartment, the walls unfamiliar but honest. There was nothing staged here, nothing hidden. Just space, the kind Claire had apparently needed long before she admitted it. He breathed deeply, maybe for the first time in months. In the days that followed, friends reached out in confusion. Some had heard her version, others heard whispers. Eventually, the truth spread. Claire had been seeing someone from her studio, a coworker she'd described as just a colleague. People asked Ethan how he felt. He told them he wasn't angry, just done. Because sometimes the cleanest break comes not from confrontation, but from walking away before the damage echoes deeper. Claire, for her part, tried reaching out again and again. She apologized, confessed, cried, begged for a conversation. But Ethan never met with her. He didn't need answers, he already had them. He rebuilt his life slowly. New apartment, new routines, new quiet, and surprisingly, new peace. Not the kind of peace Claire sought in spas and retreats, but the kind you earn when you choose yourself after someone else doesn't. He never regretted leaving silently. He never wished he'd screamed. His closure wasn't loud. It was firm. And years later, when someone asked him how he moved on so gracefully, he smiled and said, "Some doors don't need to slam. They just need to close."